It's a me, a Mario!
And a Luigi.
Are you tired of paying too much for plumbing? Mamma
Mamma
mia!
mia.
That's why the Super Mario Brothers are here, to save Brooklyn!
And the Queens.
And your wallet!
Thank you, Super Mario Brothers. It seems like the only thing you haven't drained is my bank account.
Forget the expensive plumbing companies when you're just a face. For the Super Mario Brothers, you're a family! Wow, you were great.
I was great. Are you kidding? You were great.
I am so glad we spent our life savings on this commercial.
That is not a commercial. That is cinema.
What about the accents? Is it too much?
Too much. It's a perfect. Woohoo!
Okay, I'm gonna trust you.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Brooklyn's favorite failures, the stupid Mario Brothers. Ah, great. Spike's here.
Hey, Spike.
Yeah, it's me. Oh, yeah, tell me, have you gotten one call since you left me to start your dumb company? As a matter of fact, Spike, we have.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Our mom called and she said, "Oh, boys, that was the best commercial I've ever seen." And I said, "Thank you very much, Mother. We're very proud of it." So, boom. Good luck running a business with this idiot.
Say that again about my brother, and you're gonna regret it.
Oh, yeah? Get this through your tiny brain, Mario. You're a joke. You always will be. Anyway, you always will be. Are you insane? He's 3 times your size.
Luigi, come on. You know you can't be scared all the time.
You'd be surprised.
What I love is that whenever anybody does a mom's voice, like speaking in their mom's voice, it's, "What are you up to? Why are you up?" It's always in a high-pitched voice like that. It was making me laugh because I'm like,
What are you up to? What are you doing?
yeah. That's not the voice that we give our mother. It's, "Excuse me, I was calling you and you didn't answer the phone. I called you 3 times. Where were you?"
You sound like that dog, Mr. Maynard.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for calling. Yeah. If you don't know where that whole lovely scene is from, that is the Super Mario Brothers, which honestly I'm kind of wishing they stopped doing the Super Mario Brothers as the title. I wish it was just like Mario or like Mario Brothers or something. Like the Super Mario Brothers every time is like, or Bros. I don't like Bros. Definitely no Bros. I'd rather Brothers than Bros.
I wish they would take out the bros in Super Smash Brothers. Like, they're not brothers. Who are the brothers in Super Smash Brothers besides Mario and Luigi? It's not just them.
Aren't Marth and Ike brothers?
No, they are not. How dare you?
I don't know.
They are not brothers.
Here's Mom talking. "I have never played the Fire Emblem games. How dare you assume such horrible things?"
How dare you?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they were brothers. Ice climbers? Are those brothers? Maybe.
Brother and sister.
Yeah, bros. Bros.
Their names are like Pee-Pee and Popo. It's true. It's true. Their names are like
What? I gotta look it up now.
Poo-Poo.
What? Stop!
Popo.
The ice climbers. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Pee-pee and poo-poo. Popo and Nana.
That's it. Popo and Nana.
Pee-pee
Pee-Pee
poo-poo.
and Poo-Poo. Brian, what are you doing?
He's pretending to laugh. He
I'm
looks like he's having a
laughing.
seizure.
Aren't we being recorded on this?
Never do that again as long as you live.
Yes. That's why it's like...
Never do that as long as
That's like in cartoons when people will have like old cartoons when they can't animate them. They just...
Never do that.
Katie's like the only sane one in this room right now. Well, anyways, welcome back to yet another episode of Bump That episode 143. If you don't know who we are, we've got Brian in this corner.
Woohoo!
We've got KT down below. Are you gonna say pee pee poo poo? Say it.
Pee pee.
Say it.
That's all I was gonna say.
And I'm Ileana, your host, and we're siblings.
Brian, stop it!
We are siblings who have a love for all things nerdy, movies, video games, TV shows, all things of that sort, and decided to talk about it here on the internet with all of you people, and here you are listening. So, welcome. Guys, we have been on break for 2 whole weeks. First, Katie was on vacation, and then Brian was on vacation, and I was not on vacation.
Where's your vacation?
I mean, I had spring break, but it was not much of a vacation. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
And definitely, I don't know if you could tell. You can tell, right? My voice is just gone.
It does not sound 100%. No. And
Okay,
I feel
good.
like
Sounds
mine
like
doesn't
normal.
either. I sound nasally.
This is not.
Isn't that how you
normal.
always sound?
No. 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 It's quite sad, actually.
This is not how I always sound. I sound way better than that.
It's like that picture from SpongeBob. As if I really look like this.
Big fat meanie. Yeah. She does.
Perfect.
The big fat meanie.
Classic.
Well, anyways, let's go ahead. Sorry, I'm looking for my pen. Let's go ahead and jump into the news. Wait, what is the chunk? Oh.
What do you mean, what is the
Episode 6
chunk?
of Avatar. I'm sorry. I was like, where? It's been so long since I've seen that episode now that I'm like, where are we? So, I remember. Episode 6. We are still watching this.
What, you mean the best episode of the season?
We're not there yet, Brian.
We're not there yet.
But yes, we're not there yet. All right. And we'll
The
talk
bar
about
is set
why.
kind of low.
But we gotta tease the audience. We're gonna talk about the best episode of season 1 of Avatar so far.
Yes, and we'll talk about why.
The
but
one
yes,
that
it
redeemed it.
It was the best episode for sure. But let's go ahead
Barely,
and go
though, actually.
into the news
barely.
first. All right. So, potential Freaky Friday 2 plot reveal. All right, you guys know the movie. You know the movie with the Lindsay Lohans and the Jamie Lee Curtis and you know. What's the one guy's name? Harmon? Something Harmon?
Dan Harmon of NCIS fame?
Yeah, Dan Harmon. All right, the anticipated sequel would have Lindsay Lohan's character, Anna Coleman, Anna Banana, might be a bit of a fun sucker herself as she is a mother, or as she and her mother, Tess, Jamie Lee Curtis, switch lives not with each other this time, but with 2 teenage girls. There is a current casting call to fill the role of Anna's 14-year-old daughter, Harper, and the new role of Harper is described as a bit of a tomboy with a sharp sense of humor who is in a mood because her longtime single mom is set to marry a British restaurateur. The soon-to-be dad also has a daughter about the same age, so it'd be a Parent Trap versus Freaky Friday sort of deal. That's interesting.
I'm all for it.
You win?
I didn't read this whole thing when you sent it, but you had me at that very last sentence. Parent Trap versus Freaky Friday sort of deal. Exquisite.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
tastes
it'd be a clever plot twist. Yeah. You know.
It'd be interesting to see.
I mean,
Anna's character not be like
the
a
parent-
rock and roll freak anymore.
the parent switching with the child thing has been done so many times. It'd be good to add some new twist to it, and I think the Parent Trap vibe might be interesting.
Yes, I'll be there. Opening day.
I'll be there.
Day one.
Bump that will be there. So
I should be there in like my early 2000s clothing,
grunge,
whatever that looks like.
British grunge or something like that.
I don't know. It's like a skirt with jeans underneath.
Yeah, with
and
a
like
chain on.
Are you gonna be
layers.
a Chad Michael Murray T-shirt?
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I would do that. I would go online.
Do you remember when Chad Michael Murray, I mean that's the whitest name of all time, was supposed to be the next? He was supposed to be bigger than Ryan Gosling. He was there before there was even Ryan Gosling. You know. What happened there?
That didn't
what
happen.
happened? Nope.
The picture that's floating around right now is of Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And
Yes,
I'm like,
I saw that. Oh, what happened?
But we got to give him credit because there are days when we are just looking our trashiest and we are like, this is the best we can do today. I think that was the best he could do that day.
Yeah, but it was like look at this cute, hang on. Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
that was the face that
every teenage girl's heartthrob right there, and then
Yeah, I would have traded lives with that kid when I was 14. Like, no problem.
and then we've got this guy.
he
How
looks
is
like
that
he's
the
about to
same
go
guy?
to. He's about to go to a women's study.
Oh, geez, I didn't see that.
That
Holy
looks like
cow.
some guy you get into a Facebook fight with online about some cooking video. She used way too much butter in that recipe. That is atrocious amount of butter.
No. He goes to a coffee shop and uses the Wi-Fi but doesn't buy anything.
Oh. Oh. It's like, what happened?
Oh my gosh.
Here, Brian, here's another one for you.
Dang, that's the voice of Simba.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but poor guy. Anyways, while we take a knee for Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Chad Michael Murray, he'll maybe make an appearance on my shirt for the Freaky Friday movie. But anyways, let's keep going. No, say it isn't so. I'm hearing gunshots already. For KT, Rust armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed sentenced to 18 months prison term for involuntary manslaughter for the death of cinematographer Helena Hutchins, thus ending the saga of Rust. Oh, Alec, put it down! Stop! Alec, no!
18 months seems like a short amount of time. Somebody died.
Yeah. What's it say?
She won't even do the full 18 months. She might be off in 12.
Is involuntary, I guess, not as...
She didn't mean to kill him.
Right, so, I mean, I guess...
Involuntary means it's accidental. It's almost accidental death.
Right, so I guess 18 months, I mean, that's already a year and some time, so...
But there are layers here. Somebody put a bullet in a prop gun, and it was aimed at a person. Somebody did it. This is
What happens if I pull the trigger? Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happens.
Alec, stop! Alec, stop!
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
But thus ends the saga about this ever again. Thankfully.
There is a giant ant climbing
I
on my
bet
wall
you.
next to me.
I bet you that's not the end. But if they say it's the end, it's the end.
There's a big ant now lost in the catacombs of my mercy.
But no, I don't think this will be the end. I think we're gonna get all kinds of news from it. We'll get updates from Alec himself. There'll be appeals. There'll be all kinds of things.
Yeah.
New evidence that just so happens to come out of nowhere.
Yeah, in like 10 years, something else will happen. A documentary will have come out.
There'll be 5 people that say "Me Too."
Oh my
Hashtag
gosh.
Me Too.
So time will tell for that one where that one goes, but let's go ahead and move on. All right. Season 2 finale of Invincible. Oh, I didn't actually know this had come out. Somewhat disappointing, says Brian. Season 3 is already on the way with voice acting stages having been completed. So there's that. I actually have not finished it. I finished the first half, but I have not seen the second half yet. I didn't actually even I didn't know it had come out already. I've just been behind.
It's nowhere near as good as the finale of season 1. Season 1 was one for the ages.
I don't think you could
it was
compete
incredible.
With that,
no,
honestly.
you can't. But I feel that they didn't even try. There's just a lot of like inner turmoil with the characters, and it kind of doesn't translate too much well on the screen. I mean, it's still well done. There's a few like gasp moments, but I feel like season 2 was. I mean, it took so long to make, for one thing. It took forever for season 2 to be released, and it was kind of a letdown. But I am very excited for season 3, and it's supposed to come out a lot sooner. Hopefully it won't take 2 years for it to come out.
I mean, the voice acting is already done, so now it's just left to the animators.
Yeah.
And gosh, with a show like that, you would think it would come out a little bit faster because they might have more people working on it. And I know because I've made an animation before. It's only 2 freaking minutes, and it took forever. All right, 4 months for 2 minutes. So I get it.
Well,
that was all hand drawn, and like if you've got a team of professionals working on this, I feel like they should be able to pop this out way faster.
Well, now that COVID is all done and gone, they can all get back to work at a good pace now.
So, all right. Well, then season 3, I'll need to go and finally finish season 2. But moving on to the next one, Keanu Reeves will voice Shadow in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Cue the whoa moment. I love it. It's perfect.
It would be cool to get Shadow and Knuckles together. Just those 2 voice actors as like these. How would you even describe these? They're like evanescence,
like
listening,
deep raspiness in their voices.
Yeah, but
those are men. Those are men talking.
Those are men
right there,
playing the character of. Dang it! What do you call those people?
Echidnas?
No. Like the stereotype of a person where they listen. It's not a phase, Mom.
Emo?
Oh my gosh, you know what I'm talking about.
Emo scene?
No.
Emo, yeah,
Thoughts?
emo.
I said it.
hedgehogs.
Emo.
I didn't hear you say that.
No, yeah, they're not really emo. They're just like serious.
They're edgy.
Edgy. That's the word I'm looking for. Edgy. Yes, edgy. It's not a phase, Mom. Yeah, edgy hedgehogs.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, I like the Keanu. I think that's great. He'll bring some sort of character to Shadow. I hope like there's a scenario where it's almost like a Liam Neeson type of thing where there's such a serious moment and he's trying to be serious, or not a serious moment, a silly moment where he's trying to be serious, you know, like how Liam Neeson was doing and how Brian was talking about in Ted, how he wants that kind of thing to be too. I would also want that for Keanu where it's like a really silly scenario where Keanu is trying to be serious as Shadow. Yes, that was my thought process. Finally got it out.
That'll happen. He'll be like, Sonic, why are you so happy and go lucky, and your sidekick Tails is a child?
Yeah.
You know?
Sonic, this is just a chili dog. It's really not that important. And Sonic's like, have you ever tried one before? And he's like, well, no. Why would I eat this disgusting piece of processed meat? Well, you should try it. And he's like, very well. Tries it. It's not half bad. Something like that. I could see that working very well in that movie.
Whoa. That's when he's like, whoa, this is really good.
Yeah. Man, that just makes me really want to watch the John Wick movies again. They're so good. Ah! I love those movies.
There's a new one coming out with Anna de Armas. She plays like it's in the world of the John Wick.
Wasn't that one like
where she's gonna play
or something? Or no, that just one of the regular.
No, this new one's called Ballerina, and Anna de Armas will play a John Wick-esque character who meets John Wick, and yeah.
Man, they're so good.
Oh, I didn't put in the news too, but Matrix 5 coming out, being produced or directed.
Have you guys seen the fourth one yet?
No, not yet.
No.
I liked it. I thought it was a little uppity, but I really liked it.
I know the trilogy is currently streaming on Netflix, the first 3, and I was watching it on a really good TV the other day, and I was like, dang, these movies rock. So good.
I remember watching those movies as a young child, and watching them now just like puts me back at a young child. I don't think I can watch those movies and it be normal for me. I don't know. Like, they're not kid movies, but I watched them as a kid, and so I still like feel that fear that I watch when I watched them as a child. So I'm like,
ooh,
they kind of give me the anxious feeling, especially when the one guy starts killing everybody off, like he unplugs them and stuff, and it's like, no, what are you doing?
Oh, the first one?
Stop
Cypher.
it!
Cypher.
Yeah, I hated that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think I can like those movies. I wish.
But in the sequels, that they have that really bad CGI where everything's rubbery and it's still.
Yeah.
Brian's gone.
Did we lose Brian?
We lost Brian.
Oh,
Brian! No. Brian, come back! What happened to him? No!
Stewie!
No, Brian. Let me text him.
Stewie!
He went away. Come back.
Stewie!
I
I'm
don't
text
think
him.
he
I hope he
doesn't
gets his
realize.
reference. I'm gonna text.
Oh, he sees my message. He's noticing now.
Stewie.
He says he is still here. No, you're not.
Stewie.
We cannot hear you. You disappeared on clean feed. He's pulling it up. He'll figure it out. Maybe I need to send him another link. I could try doing that. Let's see. Invite.
Oh, sorry. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
back.
Woo!
There we go.
I'll just put some elevator music on top of that for when it happens. Anyways, what were you saying about the rubbery in the Matrix?
Oh, okay. So let me just. Yeah. So I was watching it this past weekend, and the rubbery CGI of like whenever Neo's flying or fighting Smith, it doesn't look good at all. It just looks like flubber hitting flubber. Yeah, it does. Still hasn't
Flubber.
aged well.
Where's Robin Williams?
Oh man, rest in peace.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going on. Well, this is not in the show doc, but this was just crazy that happened over our break. O.J. Simpson, he died.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's crazy. He died
Of
at the
cancer.
age of
Who?
70. O.J. He died
Orange
at the age
The
of
orange juice?
76. Yeah.
Brian and I got it up top.
guys are so funny. 76.
He didn't high five me back though, jerk.
Yeah, 76. In Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, he had been dealing with the battle on cancer for such a long time. But I was just like, what an iconic thing to have happened, you know? Like, obviously, not a great dude, but an icon regardless. That was just a whole thing in the 90s. And you grew up hearing about those things in television and jokes made even like on kids' TV shows, like about OJ, like, whoa, yeah, he ran from the cops and, oh, you know, you must have quit or something like that. Like that type of stuff was just iconic in even kids' TV shows, but just in media in general. And then now he's gone. It's like
The best one is the joke in Shrek 2. We got a white Bronco going down the interstate.
yes, that's so good. I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Shrek 2.
They pepper sprayed him with they pepper sprayed Shrek with like an actual
Police brutality!
grinder.
Police brutality!
And then
that's not mine.
yeah, catnip.
Yeah, catnip. that whole thing, knights, not cops, knights.
Yeah, knights.
Man, I'm telling you, we could go on for so long, and we have about Shrek 2. Oh, this should become the Shrek 2
There's a
podcast.
Shrek 2?
The Shrek 2 podcast, not the Bump That podcast. It's the Shrek 2. But anyways,
God.
I just wanted to mention real quick that OJ had passed away, and that was just wow. That's
While
crazy.
we're just throwing things out there, very briefly, go watch X-Men 97. There are 5 episodes out right now on Disney Plus. It is not for children. Don't do that. Maybe older teenagers, mid to older teenagers. The only thing you have to know is from the previous incarnation of the show of X-Men, the animated series. It ended in 1996 with Professor Xavier dying. He died. He was murdered. And it's picking up a year later in 97, hence the 97.
Yeah,
and
it's newly animated.
Yeah, and it resembles almost like an anime with Western touch, and it is so good. Oh, so good. So, yeah, go check it out. Not for children. Don't let your 5-year-old watch it, even though it has superheroes in it. Don't do it.
Daddy, can I watch the X-Men TV show? Blood, guts, bones cracking.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No.
Daddy, I don't know if I like the X-Men anymore.
They're not good. Anyway, just throwing that out there.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Real quick one, Brian says, because there has been a lot of debate over the lack of PlayStation games. Let's look at the top 25 and come to a consensus. All right, so
let me somewhat come to a point here. And so my sisters here have been slamming Sony PlayStation that says there's no games with the PlayStation 5. Why are we making a PlayStation 6 if there's no even games for the PlayStation 5? And I was like, well, there's lots of games. So according to IGN, these are the top 25 games. So really quick, I wanted to go through them. And as I was going through them, I found a very disturbing thing about these games. So let's go really, really quick. Demon Souls. Never played it, but it's a...
Can I give a guess as to what you're gonna find? I haven't seen this list.
Wait. No, don't. Yeah, guess it at the end. All right. 25 Demon Souls. It's a remake. Uncharted: Legacy of Thieves. It was a PS4 game remade for the PS5. Okay. Final Fantasy. This is 16. Nerds only play that. Yep. Cyberpunk 2077 launched on PS4 and PS4 Pro, so another previous generation. All right, Doom Eternal. I don't play Doom. Do you guys play Doom? No.
No.
You can even play that
No.
on your Switch.
Yes, you can play that on.
All right. Oh, there you go. Boom. It's on other platforms. Final Fantasy 14, a nerdier game. Returnal, probably one of the only true PS5 games. Okay. Horizon Forbidden West, a true PS5 game.
Another
Ratchet and
one.
Clank, a true
No.
PS5 game.
No.
Which one?
Horizon Forbidden
Horizon
West.
Forbidden West?
I
Was that?
have it on my PS4.
But it came out for
You do?
PS5, correct?
I have it on my PS4.
But did it come out for PS5?
But was it primarily a PS5 game?
It came
Was it
out
primarily
at,
PS5?
It came out at the exact same time. You could buy either
Together?
the PS4 copy.
Okay.
Yes, together.
Okay. But I'm going to give that one the benefit of the doubt
Yeah, I would
because
too.
that one was, you know, there's a lot of PlayStation 4 players, but that one I think was primarily PS5 focused,
I
as
agree.
was Ratchet and
wasn't.
Clank Rift Apart.
No, I agree with Brian.
But
It
it-
came out with the same when the PS5 was out, so people who
It's
had it
like
could buy it.
if
and
you
play it.
have 20 million PS4 players, you're not going to leave them hanging if they still haven't bought a PS5, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, even though it was made for the PS5, there's still a ton of players that want to play it that haven't upgraded
We'll
to a
have to come
PS5.
back to that.
So-
that
No,
idea
I
later.
agree
So-
with Brian.
So there's a few on here. No, listen, where we're headed is in your favor, but for that one, I'm going to give that one the benefit of the doubt.
I would.
All
too.
right?
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank was a strictly PS5 game. Jedi Survivor, that's a cross-platforms, PC, Xbox, all that. So, yeah. Miles Morales, that's a DLC, you know. Spider-Man
I have it on
2,
my- I have
okay,
it on my
it's a...
PS I have Miles Morales on my PS4.
No, Katie, you're missing the point. These were games that were coming
But-
out with the PS5. If it's
Yeah,
backwards
these
compatible,
are-
great, but this was
Yeah.
for the PS5.
I'm
So
just
this
stating
one-
the platform it came out on. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
it came out on the 5 with the 5
Okay.
out.
It's a 5. It's a
Yeah.
5 one. Now this one, okay, so this one and a few of these, The Witcher 3, was that PS3 or PS4 or Xbox? And all
it
those.
came out on everything. You can also play it on your Switch.
It's on the Switch too. Okay, yeah. So that's on everything. This one I thought, like, really? Grand Theft Auto 5, that came out in 2013.
Wow.
You know, why is it being remade on so many different, like, that's the best that PlayStation 5 has to offer? Okay, Resident Evil 4, they just churn those out every year. Not even interested. Ghost of Tsushima, that is a PS4 game. Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. Alan Wake 2, it's just,
What is
I don't know anybody
gamiest
that
of
plays those
games
games.
for video gamers? What is that?
Because only like true like people that have no life play games like Alan Wake 2. It's just one of those like critically acclaimed games that nobody knows why. Nobody
Yeah.
knows even who plays those games, you know. Persona 5, originally released in 2016. What?
What
Makes
the?
no sense.
And it's on the Switch.
Oh yeah. I
It's on the
forgot it is
Switch.
too. So
So how
more platforms.
how could something be so inferior as the Switch and then it's so high for the PS5?
I just felt.
No, I'm talking
I
about
was
terms
just
of
shot
in
by
terms
Alec
of
Baldwin.
graphics. I'm bleeding. No, but in terms of graphic and power, PS5 to Switch, one is inferior. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
You're fair
So you're
in
telling me
saying that.
Persona 5 is one of the best PS5 games? Makes no sense. Continuing, The Last of Us Part 1. I played that on my PS3. It was the last big game on the PS3. Come on, dude. Hades. Okay, alright. No big deal. The Last of Us Part 2, released on PS4 and has already been remastered. It's only been 4 years and that game's already been remastered. It's just nonsense. Final Fantasy 7, redo. Baldur's Gate 3, okay.
It was
God
also
of War
released on
Ragnarok.
PC.
Yeah. Alright. And then, here we go. The number one game for Elden Ring, which is also on PC and Xbox. So, guess what my consensus is then with PS5 games? Now that we've actually looked at the data,
Katie, you should
what
go,
is the guess here?
Me. Ooh, me.
Because I know you're dying to say it, so just say it.
Sister Katie.
Just say it.
Nintendo Switch is not as bad as you think. That's my
I'm not
consensus.
going to say that, but I think the consensus is there are no true PS5 huge games being made for the console.
Let's see.
Everything
out of
is
this list, there was
a
maybe
remake
3.
or a redo, you know?
Yeah.
The one that you left out, well, you left it out, not really, is where is it? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This goes back to my point of the other thing you were saying, where, what game was it? You have Horizon Forbidden West. So you had Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4. Absolutely, you would put Horizon Forbidden West on the PS5 exclusively, but you would space it out.
Yes.
You would, because but you would also launch it with other games in line, such as, for example, God of War Ragnarok, because that's also a sequel. So those will also sell consoles. You don't offer it to the previous thing you're trying to move on from. And the case in point of it is I have Final Fantasy VII Remake on my PS4, and I've already got, as soon as I finished that game, I immediately bought Rebirth, the sequel, on my PS5, immediately when I finished it.
Did they learn nothing from DVDs and Blu-rays? Listen, you can play your DVDs on a Blu-ray, but you can't play the Blu-ray on a DVD.
You
Did
wouldn't
you
steal
learn
a
nothing?
car. You wouldn't steal gum from a baby.
Disgusting.
You wouldn't steal. Stealing is wrong. What is that DVD? Piracy is wrong. That's what it is.
Piracy.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, you absolutely would put a sequel on a different console, because then they're like, oh, I gotta know what happens. I gotta get this console.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
100%. That's what I was saying.
just-
That's what I was trying to say before.
I think one thing is just, now that I've looked at everything, it's like, well, Sony PlayStation is not looking at making any original games for the
Yeah.
PS5 or breaking new ground. Everything you see is an old franchise that they've just remade or relaunched or remastered. Everything's just a redo, re.
It's like looking
Re-
here,
re- 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 you know.
what is new except Cyberpunk, Horizon Forbidden West,
Ghosts.
Ghost of Tsushima,
But it was just all released on previous stuff.
Baldur's Gate, I guess, Elden Ring,
You know,
I guess. But the rest of these, like, okay, you have 25 here, and I was able to name maybe 5 that are originals. And it's sad. It is sad.
It's
what I've been
like,
trying
but
to
so
say.
but now they're ready. In a year or two, we're gonna get a PlayStation 6. But why? So I can play The Last of Us Part 1 again on the PS6? Why would I want to do such a thing?
Graphics.
Yeah. Now I can actually smell the blood of the zombies.
Yeah.
It's a
Great.
remake.
Starring Pedro Pascal.
It's a remake, definitely.
Yeah, so that was it. I just wanted to give you, like, you guys were right. And I was
Thank
wrong.
you. And it's
Thank you,
it's
brother.
not just us saying it. You can go on any gamer channel and they'll tell you the exact same thing. Where are these games?
It's like, it's just so pathetic that, like, Nintendo, okay? They are like the family games and very super simple, very, I don't know, like kitschy, is that the right word? Kitschy kind of games, where you've got this incredible hardware, incredible graphics, and teams that want to make the games. Where are they?
Well, and here's the cool thing about Nintendo. They played the long game.
Yes,
They were
did.
getting so much criticism from people all over the world saying, oh, look at what the PS4, look at what the PS5 can do, look at what the Xbox Series S can do. And Nintendo's just off here doing their own little thing. The ball is in their corner because if not even the Switch 2, it doesn't even have to, whatever that's going to look like. It doesn't even have to be the Switch 2. Either that one or the next console they put out, all they have to do is just bump up those graphics. You get a realistic Mario, a hyper-realistic Zelda, hyper-realistic Metroid.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, getting a
It's
Metroid game being
going
hyper-realistic.
to sell like crazy. And all they have to do is match the PS4
But they
graphics,
don't-
which are old school now.
They don't
that's
even need
all they
to
have to
do
do.
that. They are the richest company in Japan. Okay? They a company at $11 billion. That is wild. And they're-
Alongside Pokemon, the
and
Pokemon
they're
company.
really not doing anything that they haven't been doing for the past 20 years, honestly. They've just been doing the same. And they've kept that title, and that's crazy. So then you look at, Sony or Xbox, whatever the crap, PS, whatever. I don't. It doesn't even stand in the same league at all. It's just wild.
Nope.
Like, to have a whole nation of Japan that can make, cars and all this other cool tech and whatever, but Nintendo is the richest? Wild. Just saying. Ow, I hurt my knuckle. All right, but let's go ahead and keep moving on. Brian, I like that you brought that little slice of humble pie.
Honesty.
To
Yeah.
PlayStation. They needed this.
Sorry, everybody.
Humble yourselves, PlayStation. All right. It is time for the Chunk Zone.
So chunky.
Did Wheezy from Toy Story 2 just come in? Wheezy, it's time for you to go to the yard sale. Alec Baldwin's waiting for you. Anyways, we are discussing episode 6 of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Netflix TV show. Now, Brian gave us a little bit of a teaser at the beginning, and I second him by saying this is the best episode thus far. And I 100%.
But barely though,
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump
because
into
it still had its flaws.
So let's start off with the first question here. What did you think of the Zuko flashback? Now, the Zuko flashback stars, or we see the kind of the storm episode where you see how Zuko gets his scar for the first time. So that's the flashback. So how did you guys feel about this rendition of it?
Brother Brian.
I liked everything. I liked just how young they made Zuko. That he was the kid had such a good heart, and all he wanted to do was please his family and bring honor. But he was just so headstrong too that he didn't realize that he was really putting his feet into doo-doo. So I love the tension that was there, where he was at first he didn't speak up. If you remember the animated version, he speaks up right away. He's like, whoa, what the heck are we doing? We can't be sending away all these, good young soldiers to die, but here he hesitates a little bit until he's like, well, wait a minute, and then there's
That's a terrible
I
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Daniel Day Kim is so wonderfully cast as Ozai. I know I've said before, I wish they would slow the roll on Ozai, do a slow burn on him, but Daniel Day Kim is so good as him that I understand why they have him as it, because he's just so intense that and then with Iroh being there too, Iroh is just so soft and cuddly and warm and generous, but Ozai is just precise and lethal and cutting. they're complete opposites. It's hard to believe how can you guys even be brothers?
It was so ruthless.
That dichotomy is perfect. Yeah. So I love everything in the flashbacks. Everything is just wonderfully put together there. I feel like that's like they put all their eggs in the basket of this episode so far, compared to previous episodes, which were just. This was the one that we've been waiting for.
Katie, how did you feel about it?
I liked it. I liked the way that the actor that's playing Zuko shows his emotions. When he's getting his uniform on, and Iroh is helping him fix it. He said, "You look like a prince," and he's walking away, and he's just like he's excited. He's so ready to get into this war room, and he's not going to come out the same person.
Yeah.
And you can just see the anguish on him afterwards, and the realization, oh shoot, I gotta fight my dad, the scariest guy around. Wesley did not actually like the war room scene.
I
always watch it with Wesley.
The same mind. I wish it had been a little more vocal, like how Zuko was in the animated series, whereas Zuko here was just like, "That's terrible," and then, "What did you say?" "I said that's terrible." It's like, what kind of writing was that? It also seemed like a scripted scene. It wasn't very natural, in my opinion. I wish it had been more Zuko, like, thinking of the plan, and like you could see it coming together in his head and being like, "No, you can't do that," and like him being outspoken, because he is a child, so he's allowed to have an outburst like that and it be natural, instead of it being like him pondering on it and then just like speaking up like, "That's terrible." I wish it had been more outbursty, like how it was in the animated series.
And then this is jumping a really far into it, but when Zuko gets burned and he's laying in bed and he just starts crying because Ozai was just telling him, here's a task for you. You can get lost, pretty much. Here's an idea. And you can take these people that you're trying to protect, you could take them with you. Like, wowie zowie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that just hit so hard.
Let's go ahead and take that and go to question number 2. There are different elements of this episode scattered throughout the first season of the animated show. What was your take on how the episode was directed and paced, and how it contained so many different elements? So what that question is basically saying is, we saw many different episodes covered. We had the storm. We had... Help me out. I can't remember a lot of them.
The mask.
The blue.
The blue spirit. I'm
yes.
sorry. Yeah.
You also had the. Oh my gosh.
The Siege of the North.
The Solstice
Part 1.
Part 2. Avatar Roku.
Yes, and the Siege of the North Part 1 with Ko.
Yeah. Well, that was a minor thing.
Right. So, a lot of them are just picking and choosing minor things to put in the episodes. So,
but here's the point that I wanted to make the other day when we were talking about that atrocious episode that just combined everything like a terrible gumbo. This was done the right way. Absolutely the right way. Right pacing. They added in. They even added in graphic novel stuff. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
nice.
that little statue thingy, relic, with all the faces, that comes from the graphic novels.
Okay.
That actually alludes to Zuko's mother. The story of Zuko's mother, what happened to her. And so I was like, okay, I can get down with that. That's fine. It was handled the right way. It's different, but it works. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it.
The one thing I really liked was how they added in elements to make it make more sense, with specifically what I think Katie was just talking about was the crew, Zuko's crew, and how in the animated series, you know, it doesn't really say how he gets his crew, why they're on the ship with him for this long, like why are they being punished. And in this episode, they actually brought it to their attention. They're like, this Zuko and, you know, his avatar and this stuff, you know, they're angry with him and whatever. And Iroh is like, well, hang on a second, you know, let's just, you know, take a moment to think about what Zuko has sacrificed for you guys. And it's like, not only has he sacrificed something very visible, his face, but he sacrificed everything, his entire life, for this one battalion, or platoon, or whatever you want to call it. And they had no idea, and now that's coming to their attention for the first time. And the way, I could have cried in this scene because it looked like he was crying too when he's walking through them and they're all like standing at attention to him. I was like, oh, that's beautiful.
Iroh was crying.
Yeah, it was such a good little addition.
Iroh cries at everything though. So.
Yeah.
Listen, my only gripe with Iroh right now is he should have been more of a womanizer with June. And you can say, oh, that's sexist. No, it's not. It's him being a silly man.
A dirty old man. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, come on.
But men aren't allowed to be dirty anymore, especially old men.
Break. Oh, just people that. Never mind.
Brian, you touched on this a little bit, but overall take on Ozai, played by Daniel Day Kim.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, he looks the part. He's got the physique, but you could tell that this guy he's bordering. Because if you watch Ozai by season 3 of the animated show, by the time you actually get to see him, he's pretty much insane. He's just so lusty for power that it's completely gone to his head, that he's lost his mind, and then he's like, die, you know, in that Mark Hamill voice where he's just like, yeah, you know, it's a little much.
Well, at first he just seems so calm and, you know, ready to, you know, be a elite.
There's just that burning flame of like, ooh, this is not a guy you want to mess with. But I think right now, Daniel Day Kim is just holding his own. He's like, you will learn to be humble, or you will learn. What does he say? You will learn respect, and pain will be your teacher.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So it's. I mean, he's doing a great job. I mean, he's only been a few scenes, but every time he's on the screen, Daniel Day Kim, you have to notice him. He's a great actor. He's been around a long time. So everything he's doing right now, I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good stuff.
That's good. Next scene. All right. The fights, or not next scene, next question. How were the fight scenes in this episode, The Mask? Now, I'll chime in real quick. This was like, what? I can't believe they actually made this happen. When they're trying to escape Zhao, which finally Zhao is becoming a more sinister character, a more legitimate character. Thank goodness. I was like, man, they're really pouring on this weak sauce for Zhao. He's supposed to be like the main threat of book 1, and he's just not really anything. There's no threat at all. So finally, he's becoming a threat, and I appreciate that. But they had the ladder scene where Aang is on Zuko's back, or vice versa, and they're taking the ladders and they're moving them across the courtyard. I'm like, yeah, let's go. It looks so good. I was really, really impressed with how that turned out.
I was kind of cracking up because everybody's just like, what are they doing? The Fire Nation is just staring at them from below.
What
like,
the?
Whoa? Oh. And Zhao's like, shoot at them. Get them. No, he doesn't even do it. He does it himself. And I'm like, it's no wonder this war is taking 100 years because they're just like,
Some Miyuki was sorely missed. All right, I needed some Miyuki as dinner.
No, that was that is one thing that can be edited out. I was fine with it.
Dinner.
No. Now, one thing that I thought the pacing was a little weird was, but I get why they did it. But I thought, oh, that's kind of awkward. So June at the beginning gets Aang. Okay, she gives Aang to Zuko and Iroh, and then here comes Zhao and his team and takes Aang, and it's just like, that's just an odd exchange. But I get why it had to happen, and that has to be really frustrating to be Zuko, because you spent all of the 2 gold coins that were in that bag that was supposed to be like a sack of gold for June. That little bag that Iroh tossed to her was just like, 2 copper pieces.
2 copper pieces.
Exactly. So he had the avatar right there, and then here comes Bozo, like, swipe, yoink.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do about it? And so that must have been really frustrating for Zuko. But that exchange was just kind of weird. I don't know how you could do it differently, but I'm sure you could, with some thought, that could have transpired a little differently. And I like June. I June a lot.
The fight scenes, for the most part, were okay. There was a few CGI parts that I was like, oh, that looks like the Matrix rubber stuff from 2004, you know. But otherwise, for the most part, it was okay.
What I need to go back is rewatch this episode and listen for the music. I feel like I didn't really pay attention because, like, I can hear the Zuko, you know, his main theme whenever he's fighting. I feel like I didn't really recognize that in this episode, and I feel like I should have, like, during the Agni Kai or something. Or maybe they wouldn't have used it because he was fighting his father and he wasn't supposed to win. I don't know. I need some more heavy-hitting music is what I need. Some, like, really emotional, like, that's Avatar. But let's go ahead and get to our last question. The ending of the episode, yay or nay? Do you guys remember what the end of the episode was?
I remember they're in the boathouse and they're talking, right? And I thought that part was okay. It was a little, it wasn't bad, but it was all right. And then Aang sends Zuko out on the boat and pushes him off, you know, and then he goes and completes his mission. But then Zuko...
Yeah, well, there's an Iroh monologue.
Yeah, then Zuko meets his team, his crew again, and they give him the respect that he wants. And how did the Ko stuff end? He just drops it off to Ko, and that was it. Oh, and then at the end, everybody goes back to the village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody goes back to the village, and everybody's like, yeah.
And Sokka and Katara...
episode.
Sokka and Katara look like they just been through it.
Yeah. I
said,
but
the Ko stuff is...
Episode.
The Ko stuff is completely jacked up. It's just so bad, though.
I agree.
That's one of the things that I was really disappointed. That Ko is just like...
Well, they didn't frick it up this episode. They fricked it up the previous episode.
Yeah,
and didn't
it should
help
not have
this
happened
one.
this early.
Yeah,
or in this way.
It's just completely wasted. You know, I know that the stakes aren't very high if, you know, Sokka and Katara are just sick. But it's like, well, they're not going to die. They're just sick. You know.
Yeah.
So they had to raise the stakes. So yeah, the Ko stuff that's kind of the big thing. I was like,
but even
this
they
is
never
a
went
huge...
through the reason why you're supposed to be like emotionless because he can steal your face.
They didn't even bring it up.
Yeah, it didn't feel as threatening.
It wasn't even a factor.
It was just like, he's gonna eat you.
Now,
did they mix up the Ko stuff with like the fog that's in the Legend of Korra stuff? That's what I thought. They kind of mixed those two things together,
Yeah, kind
and it
of.
never got.
Oh, that
I just
fog
didn't
in
like
the
that
canyon
at all.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fog of
Yeah.
forgotten souls or
Yeah.
lost souls, whatever garbage.
Like that's
something
like that's where they're gonna end up. You know.
Yeah.
I didn't never like that.
Something that we haven't touched on was Roku.
I actually really did like Roku's character.
I thought
I liked Roku a lot too, man.
I thought Roku and the Earth and Boomy's personalities were switched.
Yeah, I could see
Boomy should have been the lighthearted one, and Roku should have been a little bit more stoic. But I'm glad that
Roku had a sense of humor. Are you itching
yes,
yourself?
just to contrast.
that. I'm peeling from
Oh
sunburn.
no!
Gross. Just to contrast the majority of the adults in Aang's life thus far, they've all been very mean overall to Aang.
Yeah, I would agree.
Kyoshi's super mean.
She's like, put away your feelings, Aang.
You stupid idiot!
Merciless. And no, I loved how Roku. I was like, oh no, they butchered his character too when he opened his mouth, and then he was like, gotcha. I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because that was horrible.
Yeah.
It was bad. And so I got really freaked out for a second. I'm like, they better not do my boy like this.
Yeah,
Better not.
I really liked him. I wish there was more of him. What they could have done is taken out. They had two scenes where it was just Aang and Zuko talking. They could have taken out that whole scene in the barn and had him just by the river and talk there. And then extend the Roku scene a little bit more. I wanted to see more of him.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
Hopefully we will in the following episodes, because we're there, guys. We can finally watch episode 7. We've got 2 more episodes. This has been going on for so long.
This is it.
Oh my gosh. Because of your guys'
gosh.
spring break time, we have been trying to watch this longer than 8 weeks now. It's like more like 12. Ah! All right. Any final thoughts for this episode?
Brother.
It could have been a lot worse, but it was after the bad poops that we've had the past few weeks. This one was definitely a relief.
I agree. Hands down. Sister, do you have any
I
remarks?
really enjoyed it. There were many times I choked up. I had some laughs. There was real emotion in this one. Now we need, please, for the future, the next 2 episodes, I'm hoping that we get to see more Aang, Katara, Sokka dynamics. It's not going to happen because Sokka's going to go off with Princess Moon, Princess Yue. But I'm really, really hoping, I have hope, that we will just get this dynamic between the 3 of them. Who knows?
They need it. Their friendship has still yet to be established.
And Katara and Sokka were minute in this episode.
They
which
weren't
is
even
fine.
really in it at all.
It's completely 100% fine because they weren't needed.
Yeah.
But if we're supposed to believe that they are really close, then please put them together.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
My final thought was we could have done away with Avatar: Last Airbender and make this Zuko,
The Zuko
of the
show.
Zuko of the Fire Nation instead. Netflix Avatar show. Not
Tell the story from his perspective alone.
Yeah. We're like, dang, get that avatar. Get that avatar, Zuko. Catch him. Dang it, foiled again. You let him get away. Yeah, maybe the Zuko story would have been good to see too. All right, that will conclude this week's episode of Bump That. We went through a lot, y'all. We went through a lot today. And finally, we get to watch episode 7, and you guys get to hear about it in next week's episode. But for now, we've got Brian in this corner.
Episode 7, yip.
We've got KT in this down below.
In this down below. You, my friend, are one plum short of a fruit pie.
And I'm Miliana, your host, signing off on yet another episode of Bump That. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you in next week's episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.